Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Faith. How are you tonight? Hello. Welcome to my live. We're on a little bit early tonight. Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome. Come on in. How are you? I want to talk tonight about a couple things. Let's see. What questions did I have today just from my followers and my hello, everybody? Come on in. I had a lot of questions today that I was answering, lots of curriculum questions. Hi, everybody, come on in. I'm Christy Faith. I'm here to answer all of your questions regarding homeschooling or education or parenting or motivation, lack thereof. I've been in education for over 20 years, and I am now a homeschool author, speaker, mentor, advocate, and I'm glad you're here tonight. So join me. Welcome. Hi, everybody. We're on YouTube. We are on Hello YouTube. Hi, TikTok. I see you guys are starting to come in. Yay! Welcome. Introduce yourself to me. Let me know who you are, how many kids you have. Are you currently a homeschooler? Are you on the fence about it? Are you a homeschool hater? If you are, please stay. I would love to change your mind, and you can try to change mine too. So come on in, everybody. I'd love to know what you're doing tonight. Have you had dinner yet? We just had dinner. All of the kids are at theater class or theater, we do a theater thing. And it's a long time. They're there for like 4 hours. And so Scott and I always have dinner together, and we were supposed to do this project together, but we didn't get to it. And we decided to go live. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Christy Faith. Come on in. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok tonight. Welcome. Hi. Please let me know who you are, how many kids you have, any questions you have regarding homeschooling. Hello. Welcome. Hi, everybody. I'm Christy Faith. We can talk all things education, homeschooling, kids' motivation. Are you tearing your hair out? If you are a mom, someone's saying my camera's shaking. It's because I agree. Yeah, if I don't touch my table, thank you for telling me. Hello. Okay, it's because every time I touch my table, so we have to fix that. I will try not to touch my table. And I'm glad you told me because I was wondering about the shaking. Hi. Welcome. I'm good. Thank you. Is that better? Is the camera shaking better now? I hope so. So come on in. I'm Christy Faith. I've been in education for over 20 years, and I can talk about anything. I'm now a homeschool advocate. I absolutely adore homeschooling. I had a deconstruction and completely changed the course of our lives. It even involved moving to a different state so that we could afford to homeschool our kids. I am an author, I am a speaker, I am a homeschool mentor. I have a homeschool community that's absolutely amazing and special, and I'm here for you tonight to answer any questions that you have. Sorry about that. I can relate to that. Yeah, sorry about that. It stopped now, right? This table needs to be shored up a little bit. See, I just touched it and it moved the camera. Yeah.
Okay, so Kayla says,
My Kayla?
No,
A different Kayla.
Yeah,
Okay.
My teenager wants me to homeschool.
If your teenager wants you to homeschool, please do. That's incredible. I think the junior high and high school years are some of the most important years to homeschool, both academically and socially. Because in our system, kids are not taught how to write well. They're not taught proper rhetoric. They're not taught proper critical thinking. They're not even taught the skills that they need to do well on the SAT and ACT. You have to go somewhere outside of the school system for that. When you homeschool, it can all be in your school. And there are amazing programs out there now for junior high and high school. Don't think for 1 second that all of us homeschool moms are teaching AP physics. It's a funny thing because it's an insult that we often get. Oh yeah, you're really qualified to teach advanced sciences or advanced math. And I'm like, none of us really are, unless I did have a friend who is a biology professor. Yes, she does teach her kids her science herself. But most of us, we stick with our strengths and we outsource or source well all those subjects that we aren't comfortable teaching ourselves. I'm not even going to put my coffee on the table because watch. It shakes the camera.
It's not that bad.
Okay. I'll put my coffee right here. See this table? I don't want anyone motion sick. All right. Come on in, guys. Ask me your questions.
Okay. She says, how do I start elementary and 1 high school? 3 elementary and 1 high schooler.
Okay. How do you start?
Kayla, yeah.
Yes, 3 elementary and 1 high schooler. Well, the first thing, hi Daisy Chain Principals, hi! The first thing that I would do is grab my 26-page free How to Homeschool guide. That's the first thing that I would do. It's 26 pages. It's completely free. It walks you through not only how to start, but it gives you a snapshot of what your life looks like, how many hours per day your kids will probably be doing school. So that's where I would start. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
M1731, I want to homeschool but work full-time.
Yeah, so do I. So a lot of working moms homeschool. A lot of us do. What I will say is it's a lot easier if we work from home and have flexible jobs, although that's not always the case. There's a mom in my group who works evenings, and so her husband and then she partners with her husband. There are a lot of people who work 12s, and so also moms of firefighters and that type of a thing. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. We're talking all about homeschooling or education, and I'm in the middle of answering a question about how to start homeschooling and how do you do it when you work. So anyway, a lot of homeschool moms work. You just have to remember that homeschooling a child does not take 7 hours a day. It doesn't. So you can get your school done pretty quickly, and then when you work, at least if you're like me, I teach what I want to teach, and then I source really well. I only buy open and go curriculum, and then some subjects I sign my kids up for live online classes. So we do a combination of all sorts of things, co-ops, live online classes, curriculum that I buy, but I never buy curriculum that takes a lot of work for me to execute. I'm a working homeschool mom. So yeah, you can absolutely do it most of the time. Not all of the time, though. It really depends on your situation and your hours, and it also depends on the age of your kids. If you have really little kids, you have to arrange childcare if you work full-time outside of the house. So, and it depends the support that you have too. There are a lot of variables, but this is what I will say. This is what I will say about being a working homeschool mom, is the one thing that we all have in common is we are highly motivated to do it, and so we think outside the box and we figure out ways to make it happen, because it is a high priority for us. That is the one thing that all working homeschool moms have in common.
Cool. Okay, we got some great questions from a lot of people.
Yay, awesome questions tonight.
Kelly Thomas, hang on. We're going to get to you over on YouTube.
Okay, Kelly, we'll get to you.
But first, Brittany, are you still there over on TikTok? What time do you start your day when doing homeschooling?
Okay, so in fact, I put in my group, I made a poll and I asked everybody, do you guys have a set start time where your kids wake up to alarms, or do you kind of sleep in and let the day start when you want it to start? The majority, I think the last time I looked, it was 73% of the moms in my group. They do not have like a hard, fast wake up time. I happen to have a wake up time. So you can really choose on your lifestyle. Are you a morning person? Are you more of a night person? I like to have most of the schooling done by lunch because I have to put in some work hours in the afternoon, and I also start to get really diminishing returns. Just me mentally, my patience level starts to kind of go down as the day goes on. And so I really like having homeschool done before lunch. I see that Mary's here. Yay, Mary. Mary is here, and she is one of the mentors in my group. She is our Thrive Teen Mentor. If you have any questions about homeschooling high school, put it in here. She'll probably answer it. Hi, Mary. I'm glad you're here.
So many great questions across all the platforms. We're over on Instagram right now. Michelle Ortega, hi, 2 kids. One is in school, and I've had a nagging feeling in my heart to homeschool, but I'm scared to take the leap.
Okay. I understand how scary it is. We all had that fear. And I just want to let you know that your heart is tugging you. You know what's right for your family, right? I don't know. You do. And you're telling me that your heart is kind of tugging at you. Here's the thing you need to realize about homeschooling. It doesn't have to be a forever thing. So you pull your daughter out and it doesn't work for you guys. You can just put her back in. It does not need to be a forever thing. Okay. And that sometimes we think of it that way, right? Like, oh, I'm now a homeschooler and I'm going to be a homeschooler forever. If it does not work for your family, you don't have to stay doing it. And a lot of families start that way. They begin by saying, we're going to give this a year and we're going to reevaluate after a year and decide if this is a good fit for our family, if everyone is thriving. And so that is a great way to start. So don't be scared at all. If you haven't already, grab my 26-page free How to Homeschool guide. It gives you a great window into what homeschooling is like. It tells you kind of how many hours per day you can expect your kids would spend on their academics. And then it also walks you through the steps on how to start and do it legally. So please grab that. Everybody here, it's right here. I actually printed it out today because I'm not doing major editing, so don't think that you're going to get like a previous version, but I wanted to add some hyperlinks in here for my Thrive group so that people that get this download, they will also see that if they really do want to homeschool, that there is a community waiting for them to support them. So that's awesome. Why, yeah.
Kelly Thomas on YouTube, getting back
Hi,
over
Kelly.
to you. Just
YouTube.
Found you here, and I'm hooked on your shorts. Mom of 2 boys.
Thank
11
you, Kelly.
And 8, third year of homeschooling. What was the straw that broke the camel's back that made you choose homeschooling?
Okay, Kelly on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you found me. I've been getting so many new followers on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm so glad that you guys are here. So, Kelly, my story, if you don't know, I do have a bio that you can read. If you click the link that's like finding out about my group, it takes you straight to a page that you can literally read my kind of extensive bio. Please go and do that. But basically, I've been in education for over 20 years, working with kids K to 12 from public and private schools. We had a private educational center and consulting firm, and I started to have an awakening. I started to deconstruct. I started to wonder, what are we really doing here? These kids are at school all day and then they're coming to my educational center all evening. Do they even have a life? Are they even happy? When are they spending time with their families? And I just started to rethink it. And then I got my hands on some of the homeschool intellectuals. At that time, particularly in the classical space, I am not an entirely classical homeschooler. There's pieces of every single homeschool style that I absolutely love. The one thing that I do love about the classical style and what I appreciate very much is that they're putting a lot out there in terms of philosophy research. They're the forerunners of making sure kids are really great writers and have excellent rhetoric. So anyway, I started to read and then it was over. Yeah. So that whole thing, that deconstruction actually led to us selling that center, moving out of state so that we could afford to homeschool because we were in Southern California where it's very expensive to live. We're now in Colorado. So yeah.
Cool.
Hi, everybody on all the platforms. I'm so glad you're here. Let's keep those questions rolling in. I am here with you to answer your homeschooling questions, educational questions. Mary is here in the live tonight. Say hi to Mary. Give her some double hearts. She is my Thrive teen mentor, and she just showed up. Yay! And we were just Voxering earlier. Oh, darn it. I moved the phone again. Sorry.
Miss Kate.
Hi, Miss Kate.
2 boys, 3 and 1.5-year-old. My 3-year-old will start school this fall at hybrid homeschool and in-person school. So excited, very intimidated. Your page gives me so much encouragement. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for encouraging me. You're very kind. I'm so excited for you. That's going to be great.
Michaela has another good question over on Instagram. Does it strain your relationship with your child to be all things to them? I have a headstrong little one.
No. So you know what it's like? Wonderful, by the way, that you have a headstrong little one. That's going to be a great asset to his or her life. You said little one. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Here's the thing. Before they're 5 years old, we never ask a mom of an infant, say, is it okay? Are you all things? Like, is it working for you that you're teaching them how to eat and teaching them how to walk, but then also being their mom and loving them? For some reason in our society, all of a sudden when a child turns 5, all the rules change. And I don't buy it. People are selling it. I'm not buying it. So what's interesting about being a homeschool mom is we don't separate it. It's nothing is really separated. We are the mom, we are the educator, just like you are when you're the mom and you're teaching your kid how to walk or talking or teaching your kid how to talk. Yeah. So there really is, it's not really a separation. You're not like sitting down and putting on a different hat, for example. It's not like that at all. It's just living life together. And it's very exciting and wonderful. I hope that encourages you because what you said is very much what our society teaches. So, and communicates to us that all of a sudden, when our child turns 5, the rules have changed and you're no longer qualified. Don't buy it, people. Don't buy it. No one's going to know your kid more than you. No one's going to want your kid to have the best education possible more than you. No one's going to look for the best resources more than you. Wasn't it yesterday on the live? Her kid was lost for 20 minutes. They didn't know where her kid was.
Yeah. Right, that's right. Christy asks, how do you balance your mental health and keep your relationship with your kids healthy?
Yes. How do I balance my mental health? Well, so this is the one thing that I have really come to appreciate about homeschooling. Now, I'm not going to say this is all bells and whistles, roses or whatever. Sorry, I had to get a notification out of the way. Is that when you are with your kids more often, now we are not home with our kids. When we're homeschooling, the basis is the home. We are not always home. We are out and about. We're at co-ops, play dates, groups, field trips, all sorts of things. So, but we are with our kids definitely, absolutely more hours than a mom who sends her kids to public school or private school. That is for sure. We're more hours. So basically, healthy boundaries. My answer is healthy boundaries. So I have times in the day where I need a break from the noise. We definitely have some structures in place. So visual clutter, there's 2 things that really get to me. They're going to be different for you, but the 2 things that really get to me, and I would actually say are somewhat triggering for me, and I know this, and so we have plans in place, is visual clutter and noise. And so there's a certain time of day where I start to put on my noise canceling headphones, or I have a break where I'm by myself. And my kids know this. We all respect each other's boundaries in our house. And so I will say that we have worked on our parenting to make this a really enjoyable experience. And I don't think that sending your kids off to school so that you can cope as a mom, I don't think that's a good enough reason to send your kids off to school. I would hope that you don't require hours and hours and hours away in order to enjoy being a mom. I would hope for everyone. I hope this for myself. It's one of my main goals in life is for all of us to thoroughly enjoy one another. And how does that happen? It happens with healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, and all of that type of thing, and working on ourselves and our own parenting. And really, it's working on ourselves, right? Yeah.
Elle withdrew from public school just today.
Wait, can we give her lots of taps? Elle, congratulations. You withdrew from public school today. Oh, that's so wonderful. You should consider joining my group. I'd love to see you in there. If you have questions about my community, yay, look at all the hearts. If you have any questions about my community, now is the time to ask because I can answer them live. We probably have people in my live right now that are in my community. They can also answer questions. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on homeschooling. Yay!
LK Hawes, regarding the mental health, we don't have the stress of getting out the door and decompressing after the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Liga Popa, I would love to homeschool, but my husband doesn't agree. I need a spreadsheet for him.
Yeah. You know what? What I will say is when my book comes out in 2024, I would love to sign a copy for you. So I think my book, though I cannot give details, would probably help your husband very much. But until then, a great place to start is reading. So reading John Taylor Gatto is a great way to start. Reading Hold On to Your Kids by Gabor Mate and Gordon Neufeld. Reading Peter Gray, even Connor Boyack. Reading the homeschool and the critiquers, the intellectuals that are critiquing our system. And by the way, John Taylor Gatto, John Taylor Gatto is not a homeschool advocate. Hold On to Your Kids. That book is not a homeschooling book. I'm not giving you like pro homeschooling books. I'm giving you intellectuals who are critiquing the system. Yeah. And so the other thing about having a spouse that isn't really supportive, something that's really important to remember is that their voice needs to be heard and their concerns need to be heard. And sometimes if those concerns are just written down and you can write down your concerns too, you guys can start really great conversations. So I did do a post on if you have an unsupportive spouse. It's probably deep in my feed though. I should probably redo it. Yes. Yep, Peter Gray is great.
Somebody asked, oh yeah, how would you teach different ages? I have a second grader, first grader, kindergarten, and preschool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Second grader, first grader, you teach them together. That's what homeschooling's about. Think one room schoolhouse. It's so exciting. As many subjects as we can, we teach our kids together. History does not need to be a grade level. Don't think it does. It doesn't. Science does not need to be a grade level. Literature doesn't need to be a grade level. What does need to be grade leveled, and this is my opinion, is math. So we do math separately by grade level. And also when you're teaching your kids to read, right, you got to sit with them one-on-one. But so many subjects can be taught as a group around the fire, under blankets as a family. And it's this wonderful, rich experience. So yeah, grab my How to Homeschool guide. It's 26 pages and it's totally free.
Yes. C. Firefly says, would love to know more details about your community and do you help with outsourcing? And someone L asked, we don't have Facebook. Is that where your group is?
Yes, so my group is not on Facebook, and that is on purpose. The platform that it is on is absolutely wonderful. It's working really, really well for us. It's a Mighty Networks, and you join and you're just right in that Mighty Networks. So my community is actually pretty fabulous, if I do say so myself. So nowhere else are you gonna find someone who has, the educational background of advising parents and educators. I used to teach teachers. Now I teach moms. My entire calling is to empower you, equip you, to feed you, and to nurture you. So in my group, we do 7 main things. I can go through all 7 if you want, but if you're asking like the details of the group, I'm happy to share that. We do a workshop every month. We have workshops. We have office hours, and we split our office hours up by age. So I have 1 whole hour dedicated to preschool to 2nd grade, another whole hour just dedicated to moms of elementary kids, another hour just dedicated to teens, and Mary is in here. She's with me on those teen hours. And then we also offer nighttime options because a lot of us are working homeschool moms, so we need nighttime options, or if you couldn't go to the day ones, you can go to the night ones. We also offer a packet every month designed to make homeschooling easier for you and to breathe life into homeschooling. And there is so much more. We have a hired team of mentors in there to answer all of your questions and to guide you. You can DM me personally. I get back to you within 24 to 48 hours always. It's the high priority of my day. In fact, it's one of the reasons why my email queue is 2 weeks behind right now, is because I answer the DMs in my group. Because of course, if you're paying, you should get your answers right away. So go ahead and click on the button in my link tree, and it will give you all the details of the group, my credentials, what the group offers. All of it is right in there, and you can click it right now. So yeah.
B. Olson over on Instagram, if you didn't do well in school, is homeschooling still okay to try to
If
teach?
you didn't do well in school, that's all the more reason for you to homeschool, because it didn't work for you. So you are the firsthand knowledge to know that schooling, traditional schooling, doesn't work for everybody, right? So absolutely. So the statistics show that there is no difference in the outcomes for homeschoolers based on the parents' level of education doing the schooling. And homeschoolers score 15 to 30% higher academically than their schooled counterparts, and that includes private school counterparts. So absolutely, there is no statistical evidence whatsoever that says if you did not have a good education yourself, you're now not qualified. Nope, not the case at all. Yeah. Yay! That was such a great question.
Yeah. Christy is here and says, I'm having a hard time teaching 3 different grades, and by the time we are done, I feel like the day's gone.
Yes. Christy, I would love to know what curriculum you're in. Yeah, I'll wait for your response because I don't want you working all day either and you don't have to. Yeah.
Eddie and Sylvia, any favorite language arts curriculum recommendations for 4 to 6th grade?
I have lots, but I don't know what homeschooling style you are. So, do you know your homeschooling style? There's lots of wonderful curricula out there for language arts.
There's been a few people asking about homeschool related books that you recommend. I put in the chat the Amazon store is a good place.
Yes. Yes. So if you're curious about homeschooling books for you to read as a parent, in my Amazon page, which is in my link tree, I have lists of books on there for you to read. And I didn't put them there so that you would buy from my link at all. It's just an easy place to send people because you can click like books for kids, books by age group, binge-worthy books, books for parents, and there are books in there that I recommend, and there's a couple parenting books in there too. Yeah.
Laura asked, is there anything you recommend on how to do homeschool?
Yeah, my guide. If you're not homeschooling right now, grab my 26-page free guide. If you're very serious about homeschooling, if you're about to start tomorrow or if you're about to start in September, I would ask you to please consider joining my group. I wish I had a group like what I've made when I started homeschooling many, many years ago. So you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to doubt yourself. You're one step away from having a team of mentors saying, "Ooh, don't do that," or if you do that, just watch out for this. We will help you tremendously with your curriculum decisions, any issues you're having with your kids. Just last week, we were talking about college transcripts. Mary was showing college transcripts. Hi, Ashley. Ashley's in the group and she's here tonight. People are asking about the group, Ashley. Yeah. Okay.
Purple Switch. We are unschoolers, and I always am hesitant to share that's our style. In your experience, is there a stigma?
There is. There absolutely is a stigma to unschoolers. I know people that use the phrase instead. It's up to you, and I don't want you to feel inauthentic with what you share about yourself. But also it's worth protecting yourself, and most of society does not properly understand unschooling. So I don't blame you, and I do think there is a stigma. So a lot of people use the phrase relaxed homeschooling, or they use the phrase interest-led homeschooling. And that seems to land a little bit better. Society seems to digest those terms a little better.
Eddie and Sylvia, it's only my 2nd year homeschooling and I'm still figuring it out. She didn't know her style. This was the language arts recommendation.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, consider yourself personally invited into my group because I would love to go back and forth to have you post so people in the group can say their favorite language arts curriculum and I can help you find your style. Yeah. I'd love to have you in there if you're interested. If not, that's okay too. My group isn't for everybody.
We do sunlight with my 5th grader, and it takes all day.
Yes.
With less parent hands-on.
Yes. Oh, that darn alarm. Do you guys hear that? Yes.
Kristen Page.
Is my silence. My silence is.
Still in my 1st year of homeschooling and still trying to find our style.
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes, and you can go and Google quizzes like homeschool style quizzes, and you can find a bunch for free. But a lot of curricula out there just overworks the family and has all the different kids in all different grade levels doing oodles and oodles of work that is just not necessary. And a lot of times I spend my days coaching moms on what to cut. because your kid can get a better education by covering less material. And education is not the covering of material that you then just can say that you covered and then your kid forgets it a week later. That's not an education, right? So we want our kids to remember what they've learned. We want them to soak it up. We want, if they're really interested in a particular science unit, for example, that you've worked on, stop. Spend the next week getting library books on that subject. It's better to know a lot about fewer things than just a tiny bit about way too much. Really, it truly is. The latter is more of a formula for ignorance, actually, when you know just enough to think you know more than you do, right? That's our society.
Carrie liked that explanation.
Yeah.
She said, yes, I love how you explained
Oh, good, Carrie. Yay! I encouraged somebody tonight. Good.
The Dalcord family. I want to find something for our lifestyle. Things to keep them busy, but hands-on lessons. Real life lessons.
Yes. Great. I love that. That's awesome.
Yep. Masael says...
Masael's here. I DM'd you. Did you get it?
She said, I'm trying to understand what my child's drawn to and working out the styles. Great part is you can choose your style, and if it's not yet, you can make one with all of them.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I just want to work on something efficient on what my child needs, but not overwork him.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
We're all there with you.
Yep.
None of us want our kids overworked, but we definitely want them learning. Absolutely.
Sophia says, can we talk about anxiety?
Yes, we can talk about anxiety.
Yeah.
Our anxiety or our kids' anxiety?
Let's see. We can wait to hear back from her, I suppose. Yeah. I'm trying to make, I'm using an online program right now. What do you think of online programs for homeschoolers?
It depends which online program. Do you want to name drop the name? I love some and I don't love others. But honestly, here's what you're going to get from me, okay? And this is not a cop-out at all. I support all the homeschooling styles, okay? In all the homeschooling styles, you're going to find curriculum that overworks your kid in all the styles. So that's really what I'm looking at in terms of whether I like a curriculum or it's not really for us. A lot of it has to do with if your kid is still doing work at 6 p.m. and they start at 8 a.m., you got to either cut back, adjust, or pick something different because that's not what homeschooling should be. That's not what really it's meant to be. You don't want to leave the confines of a system to create another jail. The whole point is freedom. The whole point. So often we don't know what to buy, so we buy the most popular curriculum or whoever does the most advertising, right? Whoever spends the most money marketing makes it look really good and their website looks really good. And we don't realize that we've literally just replicated the public school at home. And we don't have to do that. We don't have to.
Yeah. Exactly.
And statistics show that's not really even the best way to learn anyway.
Kate says, how do you know for sure you need to change the curriculum?
Okay, I did a curriculum workshop. It was in January. It was curriculum overwhelm. That was my entire workshop. So how do you know when you need to change curriculum? We went over this. If you're miserable and you've been miserable a while, then you know it's time to change curriculum. I first always say, though, this is what I will say, is that my notifications keep coming in, is that the most important thing is that you don't go spending tons of money buying the next curriculum, constantly having hope in something else out there. You have to adjust what you currently have and what you have already paid money for. You really want to try to adjust that first before you go off buying all different curriculum because it can get very frustrating for you, the child, your bank account. But there does come a time for all of us. I think I dropped and changed 3 this year that just were like, it was like a company that I had used previously, but Some years aren't as good. Some years are flops, right? The 4th grade year was great. The 5th grade year, right? So adjust what you have first. And if you're still absolutely miserable, you hate it, you find yourself skipping it, then you kind of know that it's time to change.
Cool. Great. What's your thought on a good math curriculum for a 5th grade student?
A good math curriculum for a 5th grade student. It depends. I know, right? I sound like a lawyer. It depends. It depends. It depends. But solid math curricula that I recommend are CTC Math, Singapore Math, teaching textbooks, and Math UC. And if you notice, this is just me. This is just me. Don't get all freaked out, people. There's a really big curriculum company I didn't name. Don't think I'm forgetting it. I'm deliberately not naming it.
That's funny. I want to homeschool, but I'm worried because I have to work. Is it possible to homeschool and still keep a job?
It is possible to homeschool and work, and it all, again, here I am. I sound like a lawyer. It depends. But let me tell you what it depends on. It depends on the age of your kids, the type of work you have. Is it flexible? Is it at home? Do you have a spouse? Is your spouse able to be home? Is your spouse's job flexible? If you both don't have flexible jobs, do you have support outside your home, or could you get support? Because little kids will need childcare, right? But older kids, if there's just an adult home, they can be pretty much independent with their work. So I work full-time, more than full-time hours, and I work from home, and I work 3 times a day. So I split it up so that I can homeschool. So it's absolutely possible for working parents to homeschool. Yes, not possible for everyone. And I know many parents who were so convicted that they wanted to homeschool that they took some time. I know of families that have taken up to 2 years to position themselves in a way that they were able to homeschool their kids. For us, not saying you need to do this, but we actually moved states to be able to do it. So.
MJ Beach, pushing it here. Thoughts on Saxon? Others. Others that have as much repetitiveness like Saxon.
Scott's the one in trouble right now. Scott, why don't you come over and share your thoughts on Saxon?
Well, a lot of people do use Saxon.
Yeah, very popular in the classical space. Because, by the way, we're asking Scott, because he ran our math department. He's taught every math curriculum on the planet.
Do you want me to spill it, people?
Do you want Scott to spill it?
Is that what it is? Spill the crumbs?
But the Saxon mamas are going to be so upset.
Is it spilling the crumbs?
No, you spill the tea.
Oh,
it's the tea.
Okay.
Do you guys want him to spill it? Oh my goodness. Can we just stop this?
It's a spiral curriculum. It's a spiral curriculum, and it does have an exhausting
Can you hear Scott now? That alarm went off again.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's an exhausting...
Crumbs. I know. He doesn't know how to say it. Can we switch places? And I manage Instagram, YouTube, and then Scott gets on here? Okay, go ahead. Spill the tea about Saxon. And ladies, don't just calm down, okay? Just calm down.
If people really want spiral. Saxon has a lot of that. But the thing is it's not a mastery-based math curriculum. Now, it's a personal preference. I do like the mastery-based curriculum. I do.
Yes.
And you can mix in as much mixed review as you want. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you can accomplish the mixed review that you want while maintaining a mastery-based program. Why? Because it's bits. It's little bits here and there of information and concepts that build in the spiral curriculum, and it can get confusing. Teach it, master it, learn it, and then yes, review it. Mm-hmm. Spiral back for the review, but I'm a fan of the mastery.
Yeah. So we've been in education for 20 years. We've taught all the math curricula, and when all is said and done, we are professional opinion, our preference is to teach our own children with a mastery-based approach to math. People think that mastery doesn't mean that they think that you're teaching a concept and moving on and then your kid forgets it. No. All of the mastery math curricula have mixed reviews in. It's just not spiral. So, but Saxon is very, very popular in the homeschool space. I have yet to meet an adult homeschooler. Most of the adults you'll find in their 30s and 40s who were homeschooled were probably homeschooled with Saxon. It kind of was the only thing out there in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And most of them have strong feelings about how they were raised in math. So, yeah. A lot of my friends use Saxon. Just maybe they'll ghost me forever. I don't know. It's okay.
How can you find groups to keep your child in person socializing? Asks Glia.
Leah. Yeah, Glia. I'm so glad that you asked that. Yes, homeschoolers, if anything, we overcompensate our kids' socialization because society has us very insecure about it, and we are exhausted by all of the activities that we do. First off, just know we're still in on all the same sports teams, extracurriculars, all of it. Basketball, football, gymnastics, cheer. We're doing all of that after school with you guys. So that nothing about that changes. But in terms of school day socialization, like during the day, we have co-ops, classes, field trips. We're all part of groups. All the things. Yeah. In fact, it's one of the main concerns before you homeschool. And then once you dive into the homeschooling world, most moms are like, oh my goodness, what was I ever worried about? I'm freaking exhausted right now because there's so many options for us.
Myrna Hernandez. I sold my house and I'm moving out of state, but still 4 months to finish the school year. And I don't want my kids to lose the school year. So what do I do?
They won't lose. You mean you want to pull them out now to move? There's no law that says you have to keep them in till the end of the school year. Yeah, there's never a bad time to pull your kid in homeschool. Does that answer your question? You can follow up because I want to make sure your question's answered because that's a very scary time that you're in right now. Like, what do I do with my kids? I'm moving. I don't know if you were like gonna stay and rent so that your kids could finish out the school year or if you were wanting to homeschool. Anyway, just let me know. I want to help you tonight. If you guys are not homeschooling yet, grab my free 26-page How to Homeschool guide. If you are a current homeschooler and you have doubt, you worry, am I messing my kids up? Am I doing this right? I wish there was someone that I could just ask questions to. I have a really amazing community. My calling in life is to equip you, to feed you, to mentor you. You, moms, that's what I do. It's why I'm even on social media. And so please consider joining my group. And the link is right in my bio, and you can read up on all of it and just see what we have going on in there. It's pretty amazing. And if you join, you can make the Wednesday night workshop, which is finding your why. It's going to be really powerful.
I have an 8-year-old, and they are reluctant to do work.
Mm-hmm.
They can do work, but he doesn't want to.
Yes.
How can I help get him motivated?
Okay, so I don't know you and I don't know your son, but what I can talk to is reasons in general why we see a lack of motivation or we see resistance in our kids. So a lack of motivation is resistance of some sort. So you as a homeschool mom, it's our job to try to figure out why. What's going on? Is it as simple as a curriculum change? Probably not at that age. Is there overwhelm? Is there a feeling that the workload is too much? There can also be a lot of kids resist because they struggle with perfectionism. That can be very crippling, and it can look like resistance or look like a lack of motivation, but it's actually some issues with perfectionism and anxiety. Some kids really struggle with decision making and they lack problem solving, and so they don't know what to do. They hit fight or flight, overwhelm, and so it looks like resistance. There are so many reasons why kids resist learning. And so I just want to encourage you to really start asking questions and making observations and trying to figure out why. maybe start asking your son, what are some of your favorite memories about schooling or homeschooling? So you can kind of get at what he loves, what sparks him, what ignites his fire, and kind of contrast that with his what are we doing right here? Is this not doing that? And then of course it could be a diagnosis that isn't uncovered yet. So that can often also present as resistance, or dare I say, some parents even will say, like, my kid's so lazy, and then we later discovered that the kid had pretty profound learning disabilities and the kid wasn't lazy at all. So I just want to encourage you to have compassion and try to figure it out. Try to figure out the puzzle piece on why that resistance is there. And I don't know you. That's the best I can do on a live. I hope that's helpful. And maybe if it didn't resonate with you, maybe someone out there is like, oh yeah, maybe my kid is struggling with perfectionism and that's why. But just know that every child, every human is motivated by something. So if we can find that for our kids, if we can find that intrinsic motivation for our kids, that will take our educating them really far.
Kelly says, thank you for giving me a boost today.
Oh, good.
Kelly in the group. I don't know.
Are you Kelly in the group? And then the last thing that I want to say about when we're tearing our hair out and our kids just, why aren't you working? You can get this done. Why is this taking an hour? You could have done this in 10 minutes, right? Anybody relate? I just want to remind you that the first person and the only person that we can actually control and regulate is ourselves. And so much of us flipping out and freaking out over our kids' motivation and all of that is really our anxiety. We project into the future, like, oh my goodness, how's my kid ever gonna hold a job when he's 25? And like, he's 5 now. But we do that. We build these things in our heads and we start worrying about a future that doesn't even exist yet. And we cannot force our kids to learn at a pace that is not their pace. That's why we're homeschooling, right? Because we want them to learn at their pace. So self-regulation too is so important as a homeschool mom. When we start to panic, like, why don't they understand this yet? We've spent a week on long division, right? And just realizing, like, no, if we have to spend a month on long division until you get it, we're going to do it because we have the privilege of homeschooling. And we can do that because if your kid was in the system, they'd be left behind. They're not going to take the time out for your one kid, stop the entire class's curriculum for your one kid. They're not going to do that. So there will be gaps and holes. Yeah. So I hope you guys are encouraged by all of this. Yes, Carly, I'm so glad I came across this live. It's gold. Oh my goodness, Carly, can we be friends? You're so sweet. You should join my group. Okay, let's go to other questions.
I think it's Carrie, yeah.
Yeah. Carrie,
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
tiny in there. Okay.
MJ,
sorry about that. I didn't mean to mispronounce your name.
MJ Beach.
I'm wearing this sweater and it's blurring the chat for me.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
MJ Beach, I'm glad I caught this. I need to find your group.
Oh, please do. It's right in my link tree. If you need advising, if you just want this homeschool life to be easier, if you're feeling insecure about it, if you need people to bounce things off of and you need wisdom and support, consider joining my group. This is what I do. I mentor you, I feed you, I enrich you, and I build you into the confident homeschool mom that you need to be. And we do all sorts of things in there. We do office hours, we do workshops, we do discussion groups. There's 7 main deliverables. I do 7 Zoom. There's 7 deliverables, but in addition to that, I do 7 Zoom calls with you guys every month. So, and I actually can give you better advice because I know you by then. Okay.
Oh, Masael, she's pulling her daughter tonight. And
Masael.
Marty is doing the 3-year-old.
Oh, good. Yeah, Masael's in the group. And Masael, I love how active you are and how many questions that you ask. Do you feel like you're getting a lot out of the group? I feel like you're really taking advantage of all the group has to offer. I love seeing you in the chats all the time. I love DMing you. I DM'd you this morning or last night, one of the time. Anyway.
Charlie asks, just saw your math tutor video, which I'm going to try out.
Yeah.
Do you have a reading spelling tutor app too?
It's not mine. It's not mine. I don't do kids curriculum. But if you're teaching your child to read, write, or spell, I would recommend an Orton Gillingham based approach of a curriculum. So something like Rooted in Language, Logic of English, All About Reading, those types of programs are what Barton, Linda Mood Bell, I've just listed 5. So that's what I would absolutely consider. You do not teach a kid to read by showing them a trillion sight words. That is not how children learn to read. That's how children learn to memorize. And then at 3rd grade, the mom is across my desk in my office crying because the school just told her that her daughter can't read because her daughter was shown sight words. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you have these referenced in your link tree? Ask Kristen.
No. I don't. Sorry, Kristen.
Thoughts about the Charlotte Mason method?
Yes, Charlotte Mason she was a educator in the 1800s. Brilliant woman. She started a school called Ambleside School, and she wrote a lot about educating kids. And she never had kids of her own, actually. She was a nanny and an educator, and quite brilliant. And she came up with what was the Charlotte Mason method, which actually technically is a branch of the classical method, but it's a little bit more crunchy. Like a lot of outdoor time, nature study. She was the one that really coined the term living books, which I truly believe living books are fabulous and should be incorporated in everyone's education. So I love the Charlotte Mason method. It's one of the 9 homeschool or educational pedagogies. All of the pedagogies have amazing things to offer. And I'm an eclectic homeschooler, but I lean towards very Charlotte Mason, more classical styling of it. Although I do incorporate unschooling and interest-ed learning as well. But yeah, I love Charlotte Mason.
Yeah, over on Instagram.
Her volumes are really hard to read. Most people don't actually read her volumes, though.
Joyful Meadows. Do my kids need to be school age to join this group? It sounds like an amazing resource.
Oh, you're so sweet. So I probably wouldn't start if you need at least a 3-year-old, because we have a whole subgroup in there just for preschool. Because preschool, you homeschool preschool, right? So if your kid's younger than 3, it's probably not a fit yet. Probably later.
Becky says, do you have any advice for maths with kids with ASD?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I believe. And that is, it's not really, when you have kids with diagnoses, it's less about what curriculum you buy and more about how you are adapting and teaching that curriculum. So most curricula is great. Most of it is great. If you have a kid who really struggles in math, I would absolutely, if I was in an advisement call with you, I would say you should probably look at teaching textbooks. If you have a kid who is just totally off the charts, ahead in math, I would recommend something like Singapore or CTC. Interestingly, I also recommend CTC for struggling learners too, because it goes at your pace and it's an adaptive, intuitive program. So, yeah. Am I missing one?
You're good.
Okay.
Emily says, whoa, it's Monday. What are you doing out there?
I know. It's Monday. It's because the kids are at theater. And, yeah, I know. I'm experimenting with different days to go live because I need to go. So if I go too long without going live, I get a little bit sad because I really love connecting with you. So I feel like my good groove, like what's really good for my soul, is to at least go live twice a week. But I'm a mom and my kids' schedules change, and basketball and ballet, and now Monday night is theater. So Monday night might actually be a really good night for us to go live. So
Emily wants the math curriculum suggestions. She's like, can you back up?
Yes, Emily, I can back up. Do you want the whole spiel again? If you have a struggling learner or a gifted learner, I would probably say CTC math. And you're like, why would that be for a struggling learner and a non-struggling learner? It's because the program's adaptive. It's very, very well done. So CTC, what?
No, go ahead if you're done.
Oh, and then another for a learner that does not struggle at all. If you want a really solid math sense, very, very rigorous curriculum, I would choose Singapore, the most rigorous curriculum out there. Our family uses Singapore and CTC, if you want to know. And then if you have a learner who just plain struggles and it's just tearing your hair out and you know they're not going to go to college and be mathematicians, I would just use teaching textbooks. And I don't want anyone to feel bad about me saying that. It's just known in the industry that teaching textbooks is solid. It's great, but it's also the easiest. It really is. And it's a fit for the right person. It's a fit for a lot of kids, but it's not the most rigorous curriculum out there. Yeah.
Janelle, my daughter Quinn is loving your earrings.
Quinn, where did I get these? I want to tell her where I got these. I think I got them at one of those more mature woman stores. Jessica just joined. Oh my goodness, I see her. Are you on here, Jessica? I think like Everlane or Everreeve or what is the name of that store that it's like Ever something. Ever. You know, it's not like a Chico's, but it's like a step down from Chico's. Thank you. That's really sweet.
Montessori versus Waldorf versus unschooling. Oh, and she said Evereve.
Yes, that's it. That's where I got it. Okay, where would you put that store? Like, it's not a J. Crew. It's not a Chico's. Like, where would we put that store exactly? In terms of the...
But in the meantime...
Ann Taylor. Is it like an Ann... Can we just take a minute and not talk about homeschooling?
Sure.
It's not an Ann Taylor, right? The Everreeve. I do most of my shopping online. So, and Target. Okay. Okay, I can go back to homeschooling now.
Oh, Michelle joined. It said I can't download the app. Or download the app, and then it said I can't. If she can't get the app, just email us.
Don't worry. If you can't get the app, email us. Yeah. Yay, you joined. I'm so glad you did. I can't wait. I'll DM you in the morning. I DM all my new friends in the morning.
Pulled my kinder after Christmas, and she now completed MCP math, and now will start a Becca, 2nd grade.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Is she moving too fast? Is that okay?
No, it's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. Absolutely. That's why you homeschool. You can go, it's very common. Okay, let me just back up rather than just give you a one-word answer. Very common for homeschoolers to be 3 grade levels ahead in one subject, right on par with another, maybe slightly behind on this, and you have to work a little bit to shore up some gaps. Totally normal. It's actually how our brain works. It's how learning should be. It's just our school system has everybody grade leveled, which is not natural at all, right? Like, not every kid learned to walk right at 9 months. Why all of a sudden when a kid turns 5, now all of a sudden, boom, you have to be doing, like, you have to go learn according to this schedule. It makes no sense. Oh my goodness, Sabrina just joined. Hi, Sabrina. Are you here tonight? Yay! Awesome.
Braxley says Montessori versus Waldorf versus unschooling. What are your thoughts and preferences?
Yes, Montessori versus Waldorf versus unschooling. Okay. So, they are very different, actually. I think they're all great. I think that there's assets to all of them. Most people don't last super long, like into the high school year, even junior high years. With Waldorf and Montessori, they usually go into something else. But unschooling is certainly a lifestyle, and I know people who were completely raised being unschooled and ended up going to graduate school even. So, it's totally valid to homeschool your child how you feel like what resonates with your heart and your family and how you want your kids to learn and what fits their learning style. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Right?
And Sabrina, who just joined the group, she said, I am here.
Yay, Sabrina! Good, good, good. Awesome. I'll DM you tomorrow morning. That's when I DM everybody. But in the meantime, if you have time tonight, no pressure, but make sure that you're really getting the lay of the land of the group and that you're making sure that you know when the events are and you find the calendar and all of that stuff, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, and make sure, for the workshop is awesome coming up here too.
The workshop on Wednesday, don't miss that. It's finding your why, Sabrina. It's going to be really good.
Bonnie says, hi, Christy, over on Instagram.
Hi, Bonnie.
My son's a 10th grader and he's concerned about college because people question how he will get in being homeschooled because he hasn't done any extra leadership clubs, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Was that a question for me or just
Yeah, he's just concerned.
Her son is concerned?
Yeah.
So Bonnie, I don't know if you've looked into I'm sure he's already in 10th grade, so I'm sure, have you been working on his high school transcript and all of that stuff? So you do want your kid to be, well-rounded, but the thing is you also want your kid to be really unique and to be who they actually are. And so that for some kids that their community service or how they give back to the world will look different than what society says it needs to look like. So I just want to encourage you that guide him. It's good for all of us. Of course, you know this. It's good for all of us to be volunteering our time and our gifts and our talents. And so looking for ways for him to do that really fulfill him and resonate with who he is and his personality and how he was created will be a really wonderful gift for him. So, but you do want, just like it's no different than any other kid with any other transcript, you do want it to look really unique and to have variety and to show that you're a well-rounded person that gives back, right? That's what they're looking for. So.
And we should go pretty soon.
Okay.
Get the kids, but,
we have a couple minutes left because Scott has to go pick up the kids from theater. One child is doing we only have one boy. One child is doing Fiddler on the Roof, and the 3 girls are in Annie. And it's so cute because when they're putting away their laundry at night, they're reenacting scenes. It's a hard knock life for us. And they're pretending and whipping the laundry. And it's just so stinking cute. I cannot wait for the performance. And they love it. They love going and doing all these rehearsals. And I guess they do a dance party because they plan on parents being late to pick up. And they actually tell us, don't come on time. It's pretty cute.
Jessica says, how do we find the group?
Oh, Jessica, go to my link tree. And I would love to meet you and meet you on Zoom. Tomorrow night we have Bunko Party. And then Wednesday night we have our workshop, Finding Your Why. And that's going to be there's a whole packet that you're going to be doing some exercises. And hopefully you'll finish the evening really knowing your purpose and why you're doing this. And that's going to be a very empowering experience for you. So if you are still trying to figure out this homeschool thing, you feel like you might need guidance, you need someone to feed you and to nurture you and to encourage you in the day-to-day, when you have a hard day, someone to listen to you, when you have a homeschool win for us to celebrate with you, that's what my group is. So it's where high-level academic advising meets I finally found my people type of a group. So there's no group really out there like this because there isn't really anyone in the homeschool space like me who has the career that I had before I started homeschooling. So we do a lot. Oh, look at those hearts. We do a lot of academic advising, especially in the office hours. We're talking about high school transcripts. We're talking about how to motivate an unmotivated kid. We're talking about pencil grip, what reading programs to use, what's the difference between spiral math and mastery math. All of these pedagogical questions is what the type of stuff that we talk about in the group. So it's not a social club. Don't join. You do get a lot of rich social interaction and connection, but it's not a social club. Like we're all like on life's growth plan. Like we all want to be the best homeschool moms that we want to be, and we all want to grow. I've had a parenting expert come in already. I'm trying to get a psychologist to come in to help us with our mental health and boundaries just as homeschool moms. So we have workshops every month. We have discussion groups. I have nighttime Zooms as well as day so that no one has to miss. And there's a lot of other things that I offer that are really amazing. So go to my link tree and check that out. And I hope to meet you tomorrow if you want to join. And if not, that's okay too. I make sure to go live a lot. I offer a free 26-page how to homeschool guide. So that is free as well. So if you're in a position where right now you just need to soak up what you can, absolutely okay. That's what I'm here for too. And I love doing that too. So but I do hope to meet you one day, hopefully over Zoom and hopefully this week. So, all right, we need to go because Scott has to pick up all the kids. All right, so I love you guys and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.